Hi everybody, I'm David. I'm here with Mike, and we're going to talk about the eLogic mixed mode demand model. So Mike, first of all, thanks for joining me. Can you walk through what the mixed mode demand model is and how we use it with our customers?
Sure, David. Let me just clear this model. On the x-axis horizontally, we're talking about the degree of product differentiation from very low, fully standardized out to perhaps one-off products.
Awesome. Okay, and then up on this axis?
Here we're talking about the degree of process complexity, which typically, as you go out in differentiation of the product, we find that the amount of value add in the process goes up and it becomes a more complex process.
Got it. Okay, so then we tend to think of these products in buckets. So what are the different buckets here?
All right, David. So simplest and most straightforward process-wise and most standardized is what we would call a standard product. This would be a SKU-based product, completely pre-designed with no real variation allowed.
Okay, and then next level?
Next level out we would call configured. And in that, we're moving from the standardized product through degrees of variation up to fairly high design to order. So this may be 100% configurable using all standard parts, all the way up to something where you're using a lot of standard parts, but you're also allowing quite a bit of value-added differentiation.
Okay, and then our final level is?
Final level is engineered to order. And in this case, we're adding a lot of engineering value add. We'll talk more about the types of products that fall into that category. But obviously, as you've gotten out to very differentiated products with a lot of design in them, your process complexity has gone up.
So Mike, now that we've looked at the model itself, can you give us an example of a product in each one of these categories?
Sure. Let's use a pump industry example, David, because, say, any pump company might make any of these three types of products. So down in here, I'll talk about a residential product that's a sump pump. Everybody who needs to have an ability to get water out of their basement knows what I mean. They might have 3 different lengths. It might have a couple of different horsepower options, but that's about it. Pick one, bring it home, and put it in, and it'll work.
Got it.
Configured products, let's use the example of a chemical process pump. And in this case, depending upon the environment that I'm going into, the customer may want certain features and options to be in that product. So if I'm going into a highly toxic or flammable environment, I might want an explosion-proof motor around that so that it can't blow up if something does seize up in the pump. Let's call this a fully configured chemical process pump. I might be speccing any number of different features and options for that end-use market environment.
Got it.
And then third, let's go into an engineered product, which would be, let's take a skid-mounted fire pump package that is going to be used for fire suppression at an oil well, for example. Now, very safety-conscious environment. It has to be fail-safe. Getting into that environment, there are industry standards that have already been established for what you must have for fire suppression. This would have a lot of engineering, and I, the manufacturer, am going to have to put my pump onto a skid with probably some kind of a driver like a diesel with a control panel with an enclosure around it. And you can just see that the complexity of designing that has increased quite a bit, and I'm going to have something very specialized when I'm done out here.